Hi there folks, my name's NovaWing24 and welcome to another little video taking a look at another one of the aircraft from Dovetail Games Flight Sim World Early Access. So we are having a look at today at one of the aircraft that we kind of have already seen before. So in the original release from Dovetail Games, their first sim release, which was of course of Dovetail Games Flight School, there were 3 aircraft, and today we are having a look at the PA-28 Cherokee 180. So this was to put this in context, in flight school, and indeed in the training license missions and sort of training missions that you have here in Dovetail Games Flight Sim World. You are, as part of your private pilot's license certificate and the lessons that go towards that, you're actually flying a PA-28 Cherokee 180, and you are flying it from Love Field in the US, which of course is one of the high-detailed airports which ship with Dovetail Games Flight Sim World. So yeah, we've kind of seen this aircraft before, so it's had a few changes, a few tweaks. In terms of liveries, though, it hasn't changed. We've got the standard 4 schemes that came with it, plus the Eagle Flight School. And of course, as we are going to be operating from Love Field today, we will fly in the Eagle Flight School colours. But yeah, as I said, this is an aircraft we have seen before, so it'll be interesting to see what changes they've made to it. So without any further ado, let's get ourselves started and underway. Alrighty, so here we are at Love Field with the Piper Cherokee here, and as I said before, it's something that we have seen it before, but there have been a few changes. So the first main change that we've got here is that we've got the addition of an autopilot, so just a basic Bendix King sort of Bendix King autopilot has been installed. So just your basic vertical speed, push dial buttons. It's something that we're very familiar with from old sort of FSX days. So just a basic one that's been included, which wasn't there before. There used to be like an old-fashioned sort of non-serviceable one down there in the corner, but that's been completely voided now. Just the blank panels there, and we've got this sort of like semi-modern one here. Now, in terms of other features as well, so you can actually hide the yoke here as well, just by clicking the Cessna logo and then clicking the Flight Sim World logo to make it reappear. You've got your fully operational sort of fuel selector down the bottom here as well, engine sort of key to start it, and these are all operational as well. These ones sort of here, it's got some information. It's like a placard here. It doesn't seem to, I don't know whether it's deliberate or not, but the graphics don't seem to sit right, so maybe that's something just to look at, but I haven't seen that inside a real aircraft, so I can't speak for that. The other thing that's kind of cool as well, it's something that you see in the Super Cub, is that the majority, not all, but some of, actually not the majority, but some of the gauges here actually do have this sort of little judder effect from the actual engine vibration. So you can feel that, it's getting modeled through the aircraft as well. So it's not just a noise thing, you actually get to experience an actual sort of visual sort of feedback of the vibration of the aircraft as it sort of just sits, as the engine just powers it, which is a really cool little thing. And again, it's one of those small details that I really like to see, and just show the care and attention that's going into these aircraft that are coming out as part of the default aircraft are available. And this is only early access, as I said. But of course, as I said, we do kind of expect a bit more from this because they have had this aircraft for a lot longer. As something that we see seeing on a lot of the aircraft as well, all our fuses down here, they are operational as well. So something again we're going to see as time goes on with failure implementation. You can actually sort of manipulate them and reset them using the fuses. So that's something, again, a level of detail going to that we haven't really seen in default aircraft before as well. In terms of sort of functionality of things in the cockpit as well, something that we sort of that you have here, it's got a click point for it, but the sun visor doesn't actually do anything, which is, it's a shame because it's got the click point, but it just doesn't seem to actually do anything yet. So again, something that we will presumably see again into the future as well. That one now, just let's have a look. Now, this one is a bit interesting. So you can open and operate this one. You just need to sort of use the scroll wheel to sort of open the lock, and then you can open the little peep window there, and close that one back up. It's a little odd that it doesn't have the frame sort of missing when it sort of like just, folds down. I was expecting to have a bit more of a frame there, but anyway. But at least it works. It works, and that's good. All your, as I said, all your avionics and, and radios are fully operational with this one as well, which is really cool. Including your nav, your VORs, everything is all there and working. So as I said, pretty much everything sort of works. Again, just sort of just rolling through for your actual audio to turn them on. For that one there, and your sort of volume level coming through on that side. So yeah, it's a cockpit that we're familiar with, but the addition of things like the vibration of the airframe and the gauges from the engine powering it just gives it that little bit extra improvement. And we've got the avionics here, so for those of us who do want to set and forget and set it up as a cross-country flight, we can do that. Finally, of course, yes, you can open the door from inside just by opening up there. Cool story is if you try and actually sort of open this in flight, no, it doesn't go so well for you, which is, again, kind of cool. I kind of like the fact that the physics are modeled a lot better like that in this aircraft. Now, it looks like we are holding up traffic here, so before we go, we are going to have a look at the externals of the aircraft. And again, the external model hasn't really changed a great deal from what we saw as part of flight school. Couple of minor things: the location of the registration's changed. It seems to be something that the font's changed. I'm not 100% sure why they've done that, but yeah, it's just interesting that has changed. It's now become sort of like a generic font which is used across all aircraft. So I'm assuming there's going to be something they're going to do, something like an automated system or something. But anyway. Kind of actually a bit jarring, actually, to be honest, if I'm honest about that. But anyway, otherwise, as I said, the external model really hasn't changed. Still very, very beautifully detailed. Beautiful set of reflections coming through on the airframe as well, with the fixed undercarriage. So there you go. All right, enough of that. Let's stop holding up traffic. Let's go for a departure here. Brakes on. Just pull the engine up. Now, of course, we've got to bring our mixture down a little bit here because we are at a higher altitude. So increase the mixture as we push the throttle forward. Yeah, looks like it's right pattern traffic today. As I said, it hasn't really changed too much from what we've seen previously in flight school in terms of the externals of the model. Just as I said, a few details on the internals have changed, which is always good to see the fact that they are pushing it and actually developing it and using this opportunity to actually find new things to do with the aircraft and just give us an even better experience in our sim. So coming up to our pattern altitude here. So you get that sort of adjustment of the gauges as you're actually flying as well, which is, again, it just gives you that little bit extra that you don't always get with a lot of other sort of aircraft, and especially not default aircraft is the big one as well. You sort of don't get it as part of like default aircraft a lot. Definitely nothing in the old ESP days, that's for sure. Up there on downwind. No, he's going in for something else. Okay. Alright, well, we'll do our downwind leg. I thought he's joining the pattern. flaps in. See if I can remember my lessons. See if I can remember those lessons all right. I don't know, the flight dynamics don't seem to have changed too much. They feel like it maybe have changed a little, but again, I thoroughly enjoyed the Cherokee as it was in flight school. I thought it was very well done. The closest to A2A without actually sort of being A2A, and especially for a new sim, was a really good experience. Mixture down because I know we're going to need it to be a bit low when we get into once we get on the ground. Nice sort of like wind whistling through the airframe as well. Buffeting a bit as the last of the flaps click in. Little high. Not too bad, not too bad. So yeah, as I said, it's an aircraft that we sort of are a bit experienced with. Like we've seen it already in flight school, and I think that there's been a couple of changes, not a huge amount. As I said, mostly sort of like this to the cosmetic and the functionality of the aircraft rather than sort of anything else. But yeah, overall, I think it's still really it's still the solid aircraft that it was before, with a couple of improvements, just making it a little bit better as well. All right, let's taxi on down to the Eagle Flight School. I think I remember where it is on the ramp. I don't know, maybe it's the addition of the AccuFeel sort of being added to the sim that's actually sort of making it sort of feel that little bit better. Maybe that's what it is. There we go. Alrighty. Everything off. Shut you down. There we go. Okay. And pop the door. Oop, that one. That's the one I want. Alright. So yeah, as I said, it's something that we've seen the Cherokee already from Dovetail Games, and I think overall it hasn't really changed a lot. It's just I think it is the addition of the AccuFeel has just made that just a touch better, and they're continuing to work on developing the interior as well. So good solid progression on this one. Not a huge amount has changed. I'm still sort of a bit confused about that sort of the number, the registration details at the back. But anyway, otherwise, yeah, as I said, much of what we've already seen in Dovetail Games Flight School. So there you go. Alright folks, well thank you very much for joining me in this little look at the Cherokee 180, which is again one of the aircraft as one of the one of the early access release aircraft for the early access release of Dovetail Games Flight Sim World. So don't forget, as always, to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying these videos and want to see more. And of course, as always, you can catch up with me and all the things I'm up to between videos by finding me on Facebook and on Twitter. Just search NovaWing24. Alright folks, thanks very much for watching. Take care, safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.